My name is Shannon Gillette, and I am proud to lead one of the top real estate teams here in Arizona. And today we're continuing our series where we talk to some of the top performing agents on the Gillette Group to learn what is their secret sauce. How are they balancing so many things and still selling a ton of homes and doing their job well? And today we have a very special guest, Sharon White. Sharon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited for the viewers to get to know a little bit about Sharon. You are the OG Gillette Group agent, the very first agent we brought on back in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, I went from a solo agent to a very small team, the Gillette Group. It was just us, our videographer, and our TC.
Right.
And here we are now in 2025. And you're just killing it. I mean, selling a ton of homes, doing it so well.
Yes, it's been an exciting journey. Not only the privilege of working with you, but seeing the team grow all these years.
Well, tell us your secret sauce, Sharon. Let's just start with that because you are doing your job so well, and you do something that I don't see a lot of agents doing. So what would you say? What's your secret sauce?
I honestly think my secret sauce is relationships and genuinely caring about people, caring about my clients, not treating it as a transaction, but really with the goal of listening, caring, and making them clients and friends for life.
What would you give as far as pointers if somebody's like, hey, I want to kind of do what Sharon's doing? What are 2 or 3 things somebody can implement in their business to start growing those relationships like you?
Yeah. One thing I would suggest, get involved in community, whether that's through your church, whether it's through your neighborhood. If you're a mom, get involved in a mom's group. But another thing I do right now is I'm involved in a networking group. It's a business networking group where not only am I meeting incredible vendor partners that benefit my clients, but building those relationships of trust and value where even those people want to refer their friends and family to you because you build that relationship and you trust each other, which at the end of the day, I truly think that's what's important to me and that's what matters. People are going to work with people they know, like, and trust. And so I want them to know me, to like me, and then trust me.
And one thing you do really well, I feel like you're always like meeting one-on-one with people. So if somebody wanted to start with that, like, what do you do? Do you have a calendar? Like, how are you doing
I do technically have a calendar link on my Instagram page that you can schedule an appointment with me. But yeah, you do it naturally, right? I had someone, actually a lender, send me a message on Instagram today and said, I would love to connect with you either by phone or coffee. And I am always going to pick the coffee option. I love meeting people face to face because nothing can replace that face-to-face connection and grow relationships from there.
Yeah, and that's important because in this day and age, so many people are just so quick to text or not even meet in person. And that's just something you are so good at, is just that relationship building. And what I love about you is you truly care about your clients, your friends, and your family. What is your why? Because this job is not easy. Like, what gets you through each day?
My why is my family. Back when I got into real estate, my kids were a lot younger than they are now, obviously. But my why was to be available for them. I wanted to be able to take my girls to school in the morning. I wanted to be able to pick them up from school. I wanted to be able to attend their soccer games. And so at the time I felt, well, real estate, you can kind of dictate your own schedule, which joke's on me, right? Because it's not always that flexible. There are times where you have to pivot and adjust a little bit, but thank God my family understands that. But at the end of the day, I actually am available to keep my family a priority. I am available to take them to school. I am available to pick them up. And at this point in my business, I, for the most part, am able to schedule things around them. So it's awesome.
Well, being a working mom's not easy, no matter what business you're in. But in real estate, we always have to have our phones. We always have to be on our computers. So have your kids or has your husband ever said, Sharon, like, put your phone down?
Yes. Well, I have teenagers, right, who are on social media and always want to be on their phone. So if I tell them to put it down, they say, well, put yours down. And I say, well, this is my job. So you have that back and forth kind of. But I do try to implement boundaries, of course, because there are times where you don't want your family to feel like you're constantly on the phone. So I try to protect those times. Easier said than done, once again, because oftentimes in real estate, everything feels urgent. But yes.
So what if somebody's watching, they're a solo agent, and they're like, yeah, Sharon, that sounds fine. Put your phone down, but I am all things to my clients. Like, I don't have any help. What advice would you give to them?
I think first of all, I would suggest if you're able to hire a transaction coordinator. I think that role in real estate is invaluable. And that person alone can help keep you on track with all of your commitments and your clients and make sure you hit all your deadlines. But even more than that, I think the value of a team is so important. And for someone that's just starting out, maybe they're overwhelmed, how do they tackle all this? Look to join a team, because not only can you ask your teammates for help, you have other people that might be able to cover you, whether you're on vacation or maybe you need open house help, you're out of town, teammates can do that. So I think the benefits of being on a team are amazing.
Yeah, and you have to look at your quality of life, right? And your client experience.
Right.
If you're just one agent, it's really hard to give your all to that one client. You may drop balls, and you also have to think about what's your hourly rate as a real estate agent. And if your hourly rate is more than having an assistant or transaction coordinator, it just makes sense to have that help.
Right, absolutely.
This is a fun question for you. Let's imagine you're going back in time and you're talking to Sharon White, who just got her real estate license. I know this was a long time ago, like you've been in real estate a long time.
Yeah.
What advice would you give Sharon? What do you wish somebody told you?
I wish they would have told me how to actually market and find clients.
Yeah.
I look back now, and I think that my first couple years as a licensed agent, I didn't do a ton of business. Looking back now, I can absolutely see why. And it was because I wasn't marketing myself. And I know you say a lot when you do presentations, if they don't know you exist, then they're not going to use you. You say it more eloquently, but I didn't market at all. And so I think if you're a new agent, if I could go back and tell myself anything, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Do the video, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, whatever platform, but put yourself out there. Make sure you let people know what you do.
Yeah, you built a really great brand on Instagram. If you're not following Sharon, you should definitely follow her. And I feel like anyone, and even I followed you before we ever met in person, and you're one where you feel like I felt like I knew you, right? You have that know, like, and trust because you're showing up on camera.
Right.
Even simple things as your stories, you're very consistent with your stories. Do you have any formula on like what you try to post over there on your stories?
I don't, but I think ultimately I just try to be very authentic. And I want people to know me not just as Sharon White, the realtor. I want them to know me as Sharon White, the mom, Sharon White, the wife, Sharon White, the friend, Sharon White, one of the worship singers at church, right? Like, I want them to know who I am. And yes, real estate is a huge part of that, but I think that's how you build trust with people. You let them in a little bit on the totality of who you are and not be afraid to be vulnerable. So sometimes I share more than others, but
yeah, I mean, you've got this cat that's like, what, 50 pounds?
Listen, it might be someday, about 24 pounds, but who's counting?
I love it, and he's very feisty. He's always doing crazy things. So
he's great.
I think,
who knew I was going to be a cat mom?
yeah, I mean, people follow along and see funny cat things.
That's right.
But now you've got teenagers, you've got a husband. Do they enjoy being on your Instagram stories?
Well, they do not. But I tell them, listen, you're part of my family. So, where they give me the worst trouble is if we're at a new restaurant, and I'm trying to get content, film a video. They always want me to avoid them. But I said, listen, the people want to see you and they want to know what's going on.
So do you have any advice for somebody that's like, hey, my family refuses to be on my social media?
Yeah, I would say respect their boundaries to a certain point. Obviously with teenagers, it's tricky, right? They want to make sure they look appropriate if they're going to be on camera. So I do ask them for permission, make sure they're okay with something. But overall, at the end of the day, I would tell my family and tell someone else, just everyone be authentic. People want to see the behind the scenes of your life. They don't want it to be perfect all the time. So people are interested, and just be real, just be authentic, and have fun with it.
Well, you're a lot nicer than me. I tell my kids, do you like this life you have? Well, you've got to be on Instagram.
Then you'll be on camera.
So smile.
Yes. I do say that sometimes. This is how mom helps pay the bills here. So you can participate. And they're on my payroll. So maybe if I just offered, I'd give them a bonus.
Yes, a bonus. And what I love, another thing that you do is like when you have big closings, like you get to celebrate as a family. And do you want to tell the viewers about what you recently did with one of your big closings with your girls?
So I did have a fairly difficult transaction this year, and I would be on the phone a lot. It was requiring a lot of time for me. So my girls had been wanting to go back to Disneyland, and I told them, listen, if I am able to get these 2 deals to the closing table, I will take you to Disneyland. And it eventually closed. We went to Disneyland. I did not even buy the tickets until after the 2 deals closed, because in real estate, you never know what might happen. But that was such an awesome feeling to know that I saw a deal through all the way to completion, was able to take it to the finish line, and to reward my kids really for their patience with me during the whole process.
Yeah, and sometimes it's important in real estate to have those goals because the days are long.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, especially in this market, to get a home from under contract to close.
Right.
I like to say a lot of the hard work starts once you sign that contract. We're constantly putting out fires.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for that transaction, it was a miracle. Like, your clients needed to sell their home in order to buy another
Mm-hmm.
one. And I can honestly say if they had hired just a brand new agent or somebody that didn't have our team's exposure, they would not be in their dream home right now.
Right.
So what a cool celebration for not only your clients, but also your girls getting to go to Disneyland.
Exactly. Well, for them to realize mom does have to work, but there will be a reward for you at the end. It's worth it. So,
yeah. Do they like that you're a real estate agent?
I think they do for the most part. I think they do appreciate that I'm available for them. And my younger one actually has some interest. She's always asking me to go to open houses and new builds. So
wow,
we'll see what
that's
happens.
very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you've sold a lot of homes. Do you have like a memorable sale?
I think a memorable sale would probably be one of the more difficult transactions that I was able to get to the finish line. And, what's the saying? There's no crying in baseball. Well, we like to say there's no crying in real estate, but the fact of the matter, there is. And I remember I had a transaction where we got almost to the finish line. I'm pretty sure it was the day of closing, and something came up that could have potentially just ruined the whole deal. And I was on the phone literally all day, back and forth with my clients, with the listing agent. And I kind of got to the end of my rope where I thought, I don't know if I can keep this together. And I called our title rep and I just lost it. I started crying and I was like, what is happening? But as soon as I started crying and I said, I don't know what to do, immediately I had an idea pop into my head. I believe the Lord gave it to me. And I was able to then make a couple phone calls, and it kept the whole deal together. We closed that day. I think we literally closed minutes before 5 p.m. But it was such an awesome feeling to know that I was able to help them solve a huge problem and get everyone to the closing table and get my clients in their dream home.
Yeah, who you hire matters. And if you're a real estate agent and you are not crying at least once a month, I want to ask you, do you even care about your clients, right? Because
yes.
we cry often,
Yeah.
and it's not bad. I think it's a good sign because we care so much and there's so much emotion.
Yes.
And sometimes, like on any given day, our team, we have around 40 active listings, and I sometimes feel like these sandbags of just weight on my shoulder of like,
true.
like what more can we do to get more exposure for this home? And it's a lot of pressure, whether you have an active listing, a buyer looking for their dream home, but I know you don't give up. Like, you work so hard for your clients, and they're so lucky to have you as their agent. And there's so many people here in the state of Arizona that are living in their dream homes right now because they made the decision to hire Sharon and the Gillette Group. So
Absolutely.
what do you think helps you stand out? I mean, there's 55,000 licensed real estate agents in our county.
I think number one, being authentic. What you see is what you get. And then helping people realize I genuinely care about you. And beyond those two things, I think what we provide here at the Gillette Group, no one can compete with what we are able to provide our clients. And that is just such an awesome thing to relay to people and to let them know, like, listen, I genuinely care about you, your real estate goals, and here is how I can help, and to be really confident in that and to not doubt what we are able to do for our clients.
As real estate agents, we will never be for everybody. And there are times when our family, our friends, our neighbors, they hire someone else, and we could choose to just disown that friend. That's not what we do, right? But it stings a little, but not for the reason I think people would assume. Not because we think, oh, we just missed out on a sale. It stings for us because we're like, they just missed out on everything we have to offer with our marketing. And like, they have got iPhone photos. But how do you get through that when like a friend or a past client like hires someone else? What do you do?
It's hard. And that was one of the toughest lessons I think I learned in real estate, is to just have thick skin. It's so easy to take it personal, right? Because yes, not only are they missing out on everything that we can provide them at the Gillette Group, but your flesh says, but they're missing out on me, because again, you go back to someone like me, it's so much of a relationship too. And so it's very hard not to take it personal. But you have to develop that thick skin. And, I've had that happen to me even recently. But I am going to still love on those people. They are still going to get my emails, be invited to our client events. I'm still going to connect with them every so often, and trust that in time, maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll refer someone else. But I'm still going to treat those people as if they're my clients.
It's so funny to me that when most real estate agents, let's say they're up for a listing and the seller's interviewing multiple agents and they don't get the listing, so many agents get mad or they don't respond to their email. And we're never going to be for everybody. If you are going and your closing ratio is 100% in real estate, you're not going on enough appointments. So I know with our team, like if a seller's like, hey, we decided to go with someone else, we wish them well. Congratulations. I hope your home sells for you. Let us know if we can help in any way. And there's often been times where 6 months or a year later, they call us up and they're like, well, we made a decision. We hired our friend that didn't have a lot of experience. Will you list our home? We're like, sure. We're here to help. We're never going to get every single one, but I was just curious your advice on that because it's a tough one, especially for new agents. Like families have been ruined over that. The average person knows 8 real estate agents. So it can be a very difficult decision. But if you are looking to hire an agent, you have to ask yourself, would you hire that person if you didn't know them? Are they experienced? Do they offer the tools to get your home the exposure? Like so many people are hiring agents because they feel obligated to, and that is not what you should be doing with your biggest asset.
So I think a lot of sellers especially are looking for agents who is the cheapest agent? Who can I sell my house with that's going to save me the most money in realtor fees, right? But I think what can happen in that scenario is, yes, you may save money on realtor fees, but you might be leaving a ton of money on the table at closing.
That was a mic drop moment, Sharon. I think that's going to make a reel. So follow Sharon over on Instagram to see that reel. And I mean, I love it. It's time for rapid fire.
All right.
We could be talking all day, but we've got rapid fire here. All right, Sharon, buyers or sellers?
I actually love buyers.
Because you're a relationship builder, Sharon.
We spend a lot of time with them.
That's so sweet. Dream neighborhood to live in?
Honestly, living here in Queen Creek, I love the Pecans.
It's a nice neighborhood. Favorite place to shop for business clothes?
Honestly, Amazon.
Amazon. Most underrated feature in a home?
I'm going to say a butler pantry.
Okay, because you like coffee.
Yep, great place for a coffee bar.
What is your coffee order of choice?
I'm pretty basic. I love a grande triple shot espresso with half and half and a sprinkle of cinnamon on top.
I don't think that sounds basic at all. That's a
straight caffeine, Shannon.
Sharon, you are always listening to podcasts. I love every time you share a podcast in our Gillette Group chat, which that chat goes off all day long. And anytime you share one, I listen. But like, what are your favorite top 3 podcasts for business?
My top 3, the first one would be Stay Paid podcast. I know you've been a presenter on there. Amazing podcast. I also love The Walkthrough with BAM. They always do a great job. And then The Knowledge Broker. In fact, I just listened to that on the way here today. Amazing information as well.
And if you had 10 minutes alone, Sharon, are you listening to a podcast or scrolling social?
Scrolling social.
Okay. And then what's your favorite go-to family dinner on a busy night?
If I'm being truthful, it's In-N-Out because we're always on the go.
You are soccer mom right here.
Yes.
Well, you do it all well. You're present for your family. You're selling a lot of homes. You're a great teammate, great friend. And she sings at church, at Rock Point Church. You can see her on the main stage. But thank you so much. This was fun. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Sharon House White, also on Facebook and even on YouTube.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll see you next time.